4 film students, 10 weeks, one goal: to direct an award-winning student film and launch their careers. Which one has what it takes?
I always wanted to become a storyteller, so I thought I probably need to go to film school to be able to become a director. NYU was the only film school I read about. I didn't read about USC or UCLA or any of these other schools.
For me, film school was crucial because it allowed me to physically do it, to physically create film.
The creme de la creme of American cinematography, editing, lighting, and directing have come from New York University.
Your student film is your resume. That's what you have to say, this is who I am, this is my talent. What do you think?
Showing you're a master of fine arts, a film production from the Tisch School of the Arts is not going to get you a job. If you're a director, they're going to want to see a film you did.
Film school for me was a very practical experience. I made a movie in film school and it got me recognition.
I don't see how I could have made it any other way. I didn't have a piece of work to show and a place to learn how to make that piece of work.
I think festivals help the student to get their film seen or have the higher probability to get the film seen.
You just enter film festivals. You're trying to get noticed. That's the goal.
Whether you succeed or not is not because you necessarily have a degree, but it's because you took the tools and utilized them and went out there and told marvelous stories.
You have to want to do it so badly that that's your life. Why would you want to do anything else?
Looking at black and white hands together. It's so cinematic. Do you think that we could actually do something and still work together on the set?
I don't know, it's gonna be really hard. It's just so stressful. Everybody's watching you. It makes me uncomfortable.
And cut. Now, let's just say that's a rehearsal.
I knew that film was gonna be my thing. At some point in my life, there's always been this thing calling me. I got to the point where film school was the only thing I could do with my life now that would make me completely happy. I got into this because I wanted to make films that were gonna have an impact on people's lives and ultimately change the world. This NYU program doesn't afford anybody the time to work, so I live off of financial aid. I got a fellowship to go to school, otherwise I wouldn't be able to afford to go. Other people have more money than I do, but I'm surrounded by some amazing people, some amazing professors, and I'm making movies. I wouldn't ask for another life.
I just love New York.
And if I ever see another pair of shoes, I swear I'll die.
As soon as I got here, I felt at home in this way that I haven't felt at home in a long time. Something clicked about the energy and the people, and I just loved it. I chose NYU because it's a good name school, so my dad wanted me to go there. I didn't really know much about it. I just kind of made the decision and came. And that's kind of how things work. I have always made art my entire life on some level. Always taken photos, and I really love dressing people up. I love playing dress up. I use those masks in a performance, so I made these masks. Saw this I got, and I put a fish in it, because I thought it'd be a good fish tank, but the fish died. I wrapped this in saran wrap. It's called the Sexer Cycle. This is what my dad thinks art is, so he gave me that. I knew that if I went to art school, I would be happier. I could make all my crazy art, which I love doing, but I wouldn't really be learning so much. So I decided I wanted to go to film school. Mainstream people watch films and don't go to weird, experimental, artsy installations. So if I want to try and reach normal people, it's more practical to try and make narrative films, which is not my natural calling.
When I first moved to New York, I lived on Long Island with my grandmother. I worked as a receptionist, and I was just dying. Hi, Cruz. My grandmother did not want me to go to film school. She wanted me to keep my receptionist job and meet some rich man.
You'll meet somebody and get married.
Eventually, I'd like to meet someone and get married. I can't really swing directing a film and meeting guys at the same time, though. Some people can, but not me. My first movie I made was a total disaster, so if I don't pull this one off, I don't feel like there's anything ahead of me. This is a chance at a career.
Film was part of my life from the very, very beginning.
Hey, look here, how many films, guy.
I grew up inside a theater.
I can be addicted to a place like this.
Because my father and my mother was working. They just parking me into a cinema, and I was watching 2 times, 3 times the same film.
Do you have something about John Cassavetes? I knew from the very beginning that I want to be from the other side of the screen. Know how to create magic. I start around age 15, 16 to deal with theater. Since then, I never stopped. In Italy, I was a director. My first 2 operas was a success. 6 months later, I was in New York. It's already, I think, a challenge for me to go back to university at age 34, you know?
We get close to 1,000 applications a year, and we take 36 students. So as you can imagine, it's a pretty extraordinary bunch of people who go to school here. They're actually in class 30-some hours a week. It's a pretty heavy load because they're taking writing, directing, cinematography. They're taking editing classes. There's 36 students, and they're all making a film at the same time. Usually, the first thing that people do when they finish a film is they'll put it into our festival here at NYU. That's the culmination.
I started casting early, relatively to probably other people at my school. I think 90% of directing is casting. If you can cast someone who is the role that you're looking for, your job is almost done. Hi, I'm Leah. Teresa. Nice to meet you. You too. Here, just have a seat there. I've already auditioned over 100 people, and I just wasn't finding what I wanted. So tell me the story of when you lost your virginity.
It was bad. It was nothing. It was
How
this
bad?
party. It was real bad.
Yeah. It was on the floor of a classroom.
Awesome.
At night, we like snuck in.
Have you ever been to the gynecologist? I ask some personal questions, and I try and kind of get as personal as I can and see how vulnerable they are and how honest they are and how open and how comfortable they are with me. I'm gonna ask you a couple questions about yourself.
Okay.
First, I want you to tell me about your relationship with your mom.
Well, I used to live with my mom.
This particular film is dealing with issues of me and my mother. My mom has multiple sclerosis, and my understanding is she found out around the same time as when I was about to be born, which is why they decided to have me. I have very early memories of when she could still kind of walk, but ever since then, all my memories of her have been in a wheelchair and me having to take care of her. In the same way that was tough and was lonely and difficult, there's a good side to it, which is now I know I can deal with anything, and I think I'm more mature and more responsible. The film that I'm making now is about a teenage girl whose mom has multiple sclerosis. She's taking care of her mother. They fight all the time. They're not close. It's a film based on events from my childhood. This has been something that I've been needing to make for a long time and haven't done it because I've always been too scared. I guess first, let's talk about your mom. What's your relationship like with her? And now I finally feel ready. Almost, maybe. I liked her. I wish we had more time with her. When I have my auditions, I like to have someone else there helping me. Rusty is great in that he is incredibly personable and outgoing, and everyone really likes him. Thank you, sweetheart. The main thing that's helpful for me in having an assistant is to make me feel comfortable. Thank you. Rusty's my boyfriend. I tend to make projects with people that I'm really intimate with.
And you know me, I know you better.
Happy birthday.
You rule my world. And you know.
Oh, my girdle.
Horse. Lights.
Dad, no piggy. Rusty lives in Chicago, but hopefully we'll be moving to New York soon. I would definitely be much happier if he lived here. Just to like have someone to go home to at night. I'm trying not to get too emotionally invested because I don't want to get hurt. Already, I think I'm falling more in love with him than he is with me. Long-distance relationships suck.
My family is really understanding. Whatever I go out to do, I have their support. They always thought that I was going to be doing something important. They are hoping that I make it big in this game, in this business. My mom goes to work in the evening at 10:30. She was a cashier at Pathmark. By 9 o'clock the next day, she's at McDonald's. She works there until around 4 in the afternoon, goes to sleep, and then does the same thing again. She works pretty hard. I didn't get a chance to stop and buy flowers or nothing like that.
It's okay.
It would be nice to get my mother out of one of those jobs so she can do some things to enjoy life, so she can travel a little bit or whatever. That would be ideal. Bye.
Okay.
The name of my film is The Adventures of Super Nigger, and it's an allegory based on the shooting death of Amadou Diallo, West African immigrant, who was shot 41 times by the NYPD. I'm using a comic book type movie style to take an audience to this real moment in history. I'm 27 now. I already lived 6 years longer than Diallo got a chance to. So this is personal, it's real personal. This project is life and death for me. Here we are 1 month away from shooting, and the script is still weak, in my opinion, and I haven't put the love into it yet. And I need that to be done at some point before we start hitting the streets.
We don't really get anything to suggest that Super Nigger has a bad relationship with the police until they start talking about it.
I feel like you can solve those problems just by making one of the bad guys black or something.
Those are the things that I'm writing around.
You're getting the stirring up that you want to get happening here.
The use of the word nigger in the script, when you put super with nigger together, it becomes one word that no longer has the same meaning as nigger by itself.
Hearing their comments, I can see my audience a little bit. All of the things the audience is going to be going through. They weren't necessarily about the script per se. They were about race and how people react and police brutality, all of those things. And the fact that though they were doing that, inside I was smiling the whole time.
Step from here?
This is an action with Chicago. I like this. Beautiful. Hop. Enter from that door. She will follow you through all the passage here. Camera rolling. Action.
Vincenzo's first film was one of the best in class.
Vincenzo showed really extraordinary assurance as a director, that I realized that with Vincenzo we were dealing with somebody who was sort of operating at an unbelievably sophisticated level.
Vincenzo I'd like to go to Italy with tomorrow. He's got great energy. He's very smart.
Just remember that the lens is here.
He's got this charming element about him that he uses, but I refuse to be charmed by him because he's got to work on the script.
Cut. It's okay. Beautiful. Thank you.
My film is called Arto Spider, and it's based on events that actually happened while I was working at Cafe Figaro in New York. The main character is a man called Jimmy. Jimmy will get around the cafe scanning women with a fake spider, and one day Jimmy meets a woman who has her own fake spider. They fall madly in love. It's a true fable. I'm going to meet with Professor Boris Frumin. I like Boris because he's passionate, and because I need discipline. I think that Boris is really helpful for me.
It's too much about everything. Music sounds corny here for me. And then actress, I don't know if she is working as professional. Something is not real between these two people. At the end, I don't know what it is about, you know. I think it's important to help individual to realize himself. Vincenzo, he thinks what he's doing is good enough, not always. The script has good quality, but when it comes to actually doing shots, he's guessing. He needs to do more in order to guess less.
I think it would be safe to say that all in, it's probably costs about $40,000 a year to go to school here. And then with our students on top of that, they'll have the cost of producing their films. Some of them work, and a lot of them take out loans. They go into debt. It's gambling, you know. You have to be willing to take that chance and put it on the line like that.
Okay, so you're not able to register right now because you didn't pay the bill from the fall.
I paid $2,000, but I couldn't find the other $7,300. I'm an international student, so that's mean a very hard situation from the economic point of view. I asked a loan for international students, but they ask an American co-borrower and credit history. American co-borrower? Do you think I just moved to New York, I can find someone sign for $30,000 for me? No, it's impossible. Do not use Form A233 to claim the daily personal exemption amount. What is this? It's Japanese to me, you know what I mean? It's like, what I fucking have to do?
I've made the mistake of not being assertive enough to get what I want. I'm not enough of a control freak to be a director. I'm pretty much an introvert, I think. My printer doesn't work, and I need a copy of my script to request the soundstage. Hi. Do you have a computer I could use to print something out?
Yeah, I do. I would take it back there, but I might.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. I plan a lot of stuff in my head, and it goes great in my head, but then I procrastinate to the last minute. Oh my God. It's not in script format. I don't know what it's doing. I can't turn it in either. I just printed it twice now. How do I stop it? Can we just go? Jesus. Just so frustrating. Some people graduate as producers, some as DPs, some as editors, some as directors, and some don't graduate at all. And I hope not to be in the latter. I came here to make films. I like the kind of movies that the people who come out of NYU make. I have no idea how I got in at all. I like to tell stories about people that you don't really hear about. My film is about a guy who takes in an escaped lab monkey and likes living with the monkey more than having to live with people.
Now let's talk about these monkeys for a second. When the monkey comes, he gets along with the monkey. They have a good time watching television, they hang. And
He's actually in a better place because now he's experiencing fulfillment.
And how was his life before that monkey?
He doesn't have any ambition or goals. He has a really hard time, but he's relating to the monkey better than he relates to people.
She's one of these young filmmakers that are writing about their own experience in the world, and sometimes she doesn't even realize that that's what she's doing. So what do you think about the script now?
I'm worried about it.
There's a lot of people like Barbara around, but you very rarely ever see one wanting to direct a movie.
Hopefully, I will make this film. It'll be seen and it'll be received well by the right people, and I'll be able to get a job from it.
Once you start school here, once you become part of this program, just say goodbye to everybody else in the world that you know, because you're not going to have time for them.
I've heard it often from different women in my life. They want me to spend more time.
Maybe I should have thought to bring candles. No, I should meet you bring candles.
This girl, Anna's my friend. She is amazing. She's just a genuinely good person.
It was really simple, yo.
We've kept it on and off all summer. Never like spent this much time just on one person. I do want the attention that Anna gives me. I don't want to be in a relationship.
So I'll see you soon. I'll let you know about the wedding. All right? November 15th.
I have no time in my life for anything but my work.
I'll see you soon. All right, get out of here.
I just want to give you a little bit of an idea while we're all here together about what the year looks like. We're going to have 7 weeks of classes. This is really a pre-production period. Once the 7 weeks end, there'll be a couple of days of pre-production, and then we'll go right into the production period. We're doing 36 10-minute films in a very short period of time, and things go wrong. Things go wrong on every shoot. So take it seriously. You want to be ready for this. All right, we're good on that? Okay, welcome back.
This season on Film School.
My goal for this project is like, if I died tomorrow, would I be satisfied?
The 24th of September is the deadline to pay tuition. I still have to find money for my film.
I don't have any locations. I don't have any actors. I don't have anything.
There's not a guy out there who's a professional fundraiser of short films.
I will never find the money to shoot the film.
Like, I want the audience to feel kind of like she's being touched and she doesn't like it.
If I think it's weak, I'm gonna tell you.
You guys don't think I've been thinking about this since day one? This goddamn motherfucker, brother. I swear to God.
He's like acting like a dictator instead of a director.
This is making a film real and possible.
You're not Genie Crew. Everybody out immediately. I don't care what you're doing. Get out now.
The film will suffer.
We're shooting a sexual scene with an underage actor.
Get into it more. Like, be more aggressive.
I'm not comfortable being associated with that.
I'm totally fine, and now everyone's freaking out about it.
So you want me to move on?
You wanna know what I'm doing? You stay where I'm taking decision. I'm not trying to impress you.
Fuck off, okay?
This is one of those moments where you just gotta say, why the fuck am I making a film?
This is so fucked up.
Action.